Good morning, everyone. Today, in this video lecture, we're going to start the second lesson from our textbook. And the title of second lesson is A Synopsis The Swiss Family Robinson. Before going to start, let me tell you something about this famous novel. The Swiss Family Robinson is a famous novel by Johann David Wyss, Wyss. This particular word pronounced as Wyss. So the author of this famous novel is Johann David Wyss, and this novel was first published in 1812. 1812. 1812. It means this novel belongs to 18th century. In this novel, you will get the information about so many life values or life skills, because this is not only the novel for the entertainment. From this novel you will learn many kinds of the thing, like self-reliance, determination, love for your family, cooperation, and prudent use of resources. Prudent means smart use of resources. Whatever the resources you have now, how to use them, that is also one of the skill. So here in this lesson you will get a synopsis. Let me tell you, synopsis means this is not the whole novel. This is the outline of the novel. Outline means this is a brief kind of the story of that particular novel. So here we are going to start with glossary part. Let me tell you about warming up activities. Warming up activities are actually we need to solve in group. We need the teams. But here it's not possible to discuss about the warming up activities due to online constraint. So we're going to solve the warming up activities when we'll be in school. So let's start with the glossary part, because without glossary it's not possible to understand it properly. So we're going to start with the glossary part. So let's see one by one. We're going to see difficult words and their meanings. Here, let me tell you, in this lesson, you will get so many new words, because this is a huge kind of the novel. So the first word here I would like to tell you, or I would like to discuss with you, that is knotted. Knotted means to tie something. Next, chisel. Chisel, a long bladed hand tool used to shape the wood or stone. Generally, we have these instruments, we have these objects in our home to cut down something, to shape something. So that is one of the instrument or bladed kind of the thing is there, which we are using to shape the wood or stone. The next is also like that, that is shovel, a tool with a blade. Next, very important word, that's trampled. Trample means crushed upon, to crush something. Next word, ruined. Already in the last year, I have told you this particular word, that is ruined. Ruined means destroyed, destroyed completely. Next important word we are going to discuss here, that is stilts. Long pieces of wood or metal used to support a building so that it is above the ground or water. So this is the base of the building, or this is the base of something on which the whole structure is supported. So that is stilts. Next word is rag. R-A-G, rag. A piece of old cloth is called as rag. Next word, encampment. Encampment means a place with temporary houses or settlements. If you're going somewhere in the jungle or maybe in desert or any one of the lonely place, and if you are living there for some time and you have equipped yourself or you have made any one of the temporary kind of the house or tent, it is called as encampment. I hope you have understood the meaning of encampment. Next word, here I would like to discuss savages. Savages means wild people. Those people are not actually like the human touch or maybe metro touch. They are living somewhere alone with their tribe. So these people are basically called as savages. In the next slide also, sorry, the next word is oppressive. Oppressive means troublesome. Troublesome means the thing which gives us trouble. In the next slide also we need to discuss about few more words because this is one of the big lesson. So the next word is prudent. Prudent means smart or clever use. Clever use of the resources of the things. Husbandry. Husbandry means the skill of farming. So here you will learn this particular skill as well because this novel taught the great skill of husbandry. Husbandry is very much important to survive. This is survival kind of the novel. Maybe you have watched many movies of survival like Revenant. Next, tropical. Tropical means surrounded by sea. It means all where we have just water and only place is there where water is not there. That is desert kind of the island is there. That is called as tropical. This is jungle area. Reef. Reef means rocks and sand. Together they called reef. And you can say that rock and sand basically you will see on the islands. Ammunition. Ammunition means armament. In Hindi जिसे हम गोला बारूद कहते हैं. So ammunition in 18th century when they are going for the voyages, they are using ammunition because all where there is a threatening kind of the things were there. So ammunition is the part of their voyage. Gods. Gods, this is similar to pumpkin. Jackals, that is here wild animals are basically described with this particular word. Jackals. Tending. Tending means supervision. Next word, that is suit raskar bahna. It means from in the novel there is one reference of one of the tree which exuding something. Exuding means to exude the liquid kind of the things. Evacuated. Evacuated to live place. Next, we are going to discuss about characters in the novel. If you want to learn the novel in good way, you should know something about the characters first. So likewise we are going to start with the characters. So here the first character is William. William is the major character in this particular novel, and William is the father of all the four children. And the second important character here is Elizabeth. Elizabeth, the mother of all the four children. Now we're going to discuss about all the four children. Let's see. The first one is Fritz. Fritz is the oldest of the four boys. It means he's the elder son of the William and Elizabeth. The second one is Ernest. Ernest is the second oldest of the boys. The next one is Jack. Jack, the third oldest of the boys. And the last one, the youngest son of William and Elizabeth, is Franz. Remember all these children by their chronology: Fritz, Ernest, Jack, and Franz. Next, we need to discuss about two animal characters here. The first one is Turk. Turk, that is the English dog, and the Juno. Juno is the Danish dog. These are the categories of the dogs, or you can say species of the dogs. So Turk is an English dog and Juno is a Danish dog. So I hope you understood the characters very well. William, father; Elizabeth, mother. Their four children are Fritz, Ernest, Jack, and Franz. And two dogs were there, Turk and Juno. Now, after this is my request to you that here I'm not going to type the whole paragraph. So, you should be ready with your textbook. And first of all, you need to open your textbook, that is the page number 6. And we are going paragraph wise. Whenever there are new words, I will tell you the meanings once again. So be ready with your textbook. You have to open page number 6. So let me start a synopsis: The Swiss Family of Robinson. So once again, let me tell you, The Swiss Family Robinson is a well-known adventure novel. Adventure novel, this is a type of novel which is very famous in 18th century. So what kind of the novel it is? This is the adventure kind of the novel that people of many countries have enjoyed for more than 200 years. So this genre is very famous. This type of the novels were very famous in 18th century and everybody likes it. They were enjoyed such kind of the novels. It has also been made into graphic novels and films. Graphic novels and films, it means the story of such kind of the adventurous novels were adapted for the films and graphic novels. And nowadays, we all know it very well that famous novels will be converted into films or the movies. So, this novel, the Swiss Family Robinson, is very famous in 18th century. Remember this novel belongs to 18th century. The novel written by Swiss clergyman Johann David Wyss. So let me show you the picture of the author Johann David Wyss. And what is the profession of Johann David Wyss? Clergyman. It means he works in the church as a father. So Johann David Wyss is not just this is not just an adventure. It means for him to write this novel is not just an adventure, but he has certain aim in his mind. And what is his aim behind the writing of this novel? It aims at teaching young people values like self-reliance, determination, love for your family, cooperation, and prudent use of resources. This is very important line of the whole lesson, that the aim of this novel is to teach young people like you. Which values? Self-reliance, it means you have to believe in yourself. Determination, you should be determined to achieve your goal. The next one is love for your family. That is very important aspect of human life. The next one is cooperation. It means we need to cooperate with each other whenever we have difficulty. And prudent use of resources. Smart, prudent, the smart or clever use of resources. Already we have discussed about this particular word. It also has good lessons relevant in natural sciences, good husbandry, and even mathematics. So, through this novel, you will learn many new subjects like natural sciences, because this is the real kind of the learning through the experiences, because experience is our greatest kind of the teacher, because we always learned the life lessons through our experiences. So here you will learn natural sciences, even you will learn good husbandry, farming. This is the skill of farming. In difficult situation, if you want to grow something, you want to grow crops, so it's very difficult. But in this lesson, you will learn that how to survive, and you will survive if you have the skill of good husbandry and even mathematics. I mean, this is not just about the natural sciences or husbandry, but this is all about mathematics. To create any one of the house or any one of the structure, you should have the knowledge of mathematics. And without mathematics, it's not possible to create the wonders in the world. So you will learn this particular thing from this lesson. Which things? Natural sciences, good husbandry, and even mathematics. Remember all the three things. Now we are going towards the next para. Some elements, be ready with your textbook. Third para, some elements of the novel to stretch reality to a certain extent. But we must consider that it is a work of fiction and not a fact file. It means this novel, though it is realistic, it means when we read it, we feel like that this is the real story. But for kind of information, this is a work of fiction. I mean, this is the imaginary kind of the work. This is not a fact file. Fact file where reality is there, where true events were there. But this is not the work of reality. This is the fiction. It means this is the imaginary work of Swiss clergyman Johann David Weiss, and this is not actually called as a fact file. So this is the difference between fiction and fact file. Fiction is an imaginary kind of the thing, and fact file is related with the facts, true events. So we have here one question, that is, in what way is a work of fiction different from a fact file? So answer is very simple, that fiction is related with the imagination and fact file is related with the true events. I hope you understood the difference between fiction and fact file. So given below is a synopsis and outline of its basic story. So this is just a small or brief kind of the information or the story of a big novel, The Swiss Family Robinson. So already we have discussed about the characters, right? So let me tell you once again. So this is the character list. So in the next para, you will get the introduction of each character. So let's see. William, Elizabeth, and their children had been traveling in a ship when the ship was caught in a great storm. So what happened to them? When they're traveling by the ship, they were caught in a great storm, and the other passengers evacuated. Evacuated, do you remember the meaning of evacuated? Evacuated means to leave that place. So the other passengers evacuated without them. William and his family, including the young children Fritz, Ernest, Jack, and Franz, were left to survive alone. It means now they are the only passengers on the ship, those who are in difficult condition, and there is no any kind of the guarantee of the life, because there is a huge storm was actually happened, and they were caught in this great storm. So now it is depends on the condition that they are going to survive or not. So let's see what happened. They withered the great storm waiting in the ship's hold. So they tried their level best to save their lives. And What happened next? The sheep survived the night, because in the night it's not possible to go somewhere, right? Because it's not possible to see the things in such kind of the difficult condition. So the sheep survived the night. It means they are all survived in the night, and the family found themselves within sight of a tropical desert island the next morning. So it means the next morning when they see the scenario, right? They see that they are actually reached to the tropical desert island, and they don't know about this particular place. Due to storm, the condition, they reached to this particular tropical desert island, and the next morning they decided to get to the island. They could see beyond the reef, that is rocks and sand close to the surface of the sea. So now they decided to reach to that particular place, and with much effort, because still the condition is not good, still the effect of storms are easily seen by them. So with much effort, they constructed a vessel out of tubs. It means they used the material on the ship and they created the vessel. Vessel here is not actually the vessels we are using in our home, but vessel here the meaning is boat. It means they created these small boats with the help of the tubs which are available in the ship. After they filled the tubs with food and ammunition, gola barud, right? Armaments. So here they filled all the tubs with remaining food and all the things which are necessary to survive. Even ammunition is also important to survive, and all other articles of value they could safely carry. So they filled all the tubs with these essential things, and now they rode toward the island. Rode toward the island means they are now going towards the island. Two dogs. I have reported here the names of the two dogs. Two dogs from the ship named Turk and Juno swam beside them, and their dogs are also very faithful, and they swam beside them, and they are also going towards the island. The ship cargo of livestock, guns, and powder, carpentry tools, books, a disassembled pinas, and provisions had also survived. So some of the things. So this is the imaginary picture of the boat. So while they are traveling, they are going with so many people, so many other passengers. But in this storm, all the passengers evacuated them. They left them in this condition, and only due to the fortune they were survived in this great storm. And at last, they were able to reach somewhere, though they don't know about this place, but they are sure that they will survive on this particular island. This is the survival kind of the novel. So you have to remember the condition, you have to remember the storyline. That is very important. The next thing, now they are going towards the island. So they had used the tubs. In the picture, you can easily see the what kind of situation may be there. So, over the next few days, William, father attached the floatable old cakes. Old cakes here, the meaning is very clear that cakes means barrels, right, to one another and built a bow that curved around them. So, the family had landed successfully on the island. At last, they reached to the island, and they set up a tent and softened the floor with armloads of grass they cut and spread to serve as their beds. So now this is the encampment of the family. When they reached to the island, the first thing they did was they made the tent. That is very important. And in what way they soften the floor? So they soften the floor with the armloads of grass. Maybe they have cut down the grass and they spread all the grass on the floor to serve as their beds. So this is the temporary arrangement of the family. But this is also important thing that they need to think about the accommodation once again, because this is not the permanent kind of the accommodation, and this is very difficult to survive in the condition, because they know it very well that they reached somewhere on this lonely kind of the island, and so many wild animals were there. So this is very important to survive with their family members. So they came to grow of trees. One tree grew what looked like gods on its trunk. Gods, yeah, this is like the trunk of the tree. The below side of the tree is looking like the gods. And the father here, who is the father? Do you remember the name of the father? The name of the father is William. And he told Fritz is the eldest son of William and Elizabeth. So he told him that the gods would make excellent bowls and spoons, and they cut them into various utensils. William is very intelligent kind of the person. So he told him to cut down the trunk of the tree, and he told him that this is very important kind of the trunk which we can use for the utensils, burthen. So it's very important that they had made the bowls and spoons with the help of the tree trunk. Remember, with the help of the tree trunk. After some days, Elizabeth informed William that she wanted the family to move to a safer place. Their current camp was not only exposed but also very dry and hot. So Elizabeth was in trouble. Elizabeth is in tension, and she told William that this is the temporary arrangement, and their camp or their tent is actually exposed, and it's very difficult to live there. So she requested William that they need to make the permanent or safer place for them. So if they built a house up in one of the large trees, if they built a house up in one of the large trees, they would be safe from the jackals. Jackals means wild animals. So now they're decided to make their house on the big tree like this. This is just the imaginary picture. So she described a perfect tree for the project. So they had selected one tree, one big tree, and now they're going to make the house. One whose trunk was nearly 40 feet in diameter. Even the below part of the tree is so huge. It's nearly 40 feet diameter, like this huge tree. The branches were very long and extended straight out from the trunk, making them perfect platforms for structure. Later, when determining the height of the lowest branches, the father taught the boys geometry and how to use triangles to measure big objects. Already, I have told you, in this novel, you will learn the subjects like natural sciences, good husbandry, and mathematics. So, here the father would like to teach his children regarding geometry. He measured a defined distance from the trunk. Then he calculated angles using several measured rods, determining that the lowest branch was 30 feet off the ground. So, what is the height of the tree? Is very, very tallest kind of the tree is there. And of course, remember to determine that what is the distance. He's using different rods, which are actually very important stage. It means to create the house on the tree is not the simple kind of the activity. So he already calculated all the angles using several measured rods, and now they have decided that they are going to make the house 30 feet off the ground. So this is 30 feet off the ground. So the men knotted rope at certain intervals and attached pieces of bamboo in each knot, because whatever the material or this or the resources they have, they need to use it because they don't have the other things on this deserted island. So, thus they created the ladder. Here you can see the ladder. In this way, they had created the ladder, and father returned to the beach and collected driftwood. It is whatever the material which is useful to create the house, the father collected, thinking it would be perfect to build a sledge. Sledge means on the surface level, on runners rather than fields, because it's very easy task to sledge any one of the thing. घसीटते हुए किसी चीज को अगर हम आगे लेके जाएं, so that is one of the simple kind of the thing, right? So they had not created the fields, they had created the sledge kind of the thing. Later they used it to transport materials, because let me tell you once again, the father William is one of the intelligent man, and he knows how to survive in the difficult condition. Meanwhile, Elizabeth announced it was so many days were passed. This is just the synopsis. So many days were passed, and they are able to survive in this difficult condition. Now they know each and everything on the island, and meanwhile Elizabeth started the gardening for the sake of survival. So, meanwhile, Elizabeth announced that the garden she had been tending was producing healthy plants. It is now corn is there, melons were there, pumpkins were there, cucumbers were there. So, already all these fruits were growing, and this is the sign of positivity. This is the sign of true life, because now their life will be easy, because on this deserted island they are able to grow such kind of the healthy fruits. So who grown the fruits? So Elizabeth, the mother of all the four children, she grown these fruits in her garden. The next day, only the father and Fritz traveled to the woods. Woods means here jungle, exploring to find out something, and finding such exotic plants as one with waxy fruit from which candles could be made. So let's see here how they survived. It is previously there was no any sign of the life, there is no any kind of the food for them, but now they are going to create the candles with the help of the waxy fruit. This is called as true life. It means any one of the difficult condition, you need to use the material which is available there. So now Fritz discovered a tree exuding a rubbery sap, from which the father claimed that they could make boots. So now remember, they are creating the things for the survival, right? It means now they are thinking to create the candles, they are thinking to create the boots for them, and they are using the natural resources. And here it's very important to have the knowledge about the trees, natural science, because without having the knowledge of natural sciences, it's not possible to create the inventions. So now they are going to create the candles and boots for them. So today we are going to see the half part till this particular point. I hope you have understood the story very well. In the next session, we are going to see the remaining half part, that what exactly happened to them, or what will happen to them, and how they will reach to the land once again. So, with this concluding remark, today we learn something about a adventurous kind of the novel. The title of the novel is a synopsis. That is not the actually the part of the title. The Swiss Family Robinson. Remember, Robinson is not the surname of the people, but still, writer had used this particular title. So this is Swiss family. Swiss means belongs to Switzerland. Which nation? Switzerland. And those people, those who are living on this place, they are called as Swiss people. I hope you understood this part very well. In the next part, we will complete the novel or complete the lesson with all the details. So, thank you everyone. Stay safe, stay home.